Ovcharska. We are making a Bulgarian salad for a meal prep. From what the interwebs tell me, this is a variation on the traditional shopska salad. This will make about 2 very large portions. This is something new I'm going to be trying to do every week, so let's get started. So I like making salads for 2 reasons. 1, they can be therapeutic to chop up, and 2, you don't have to worry about cross-contamination, none of that nonsense. Begin with 4 eggs that I'm going to hard boil. Cold water, fill it just to the top to cover the eggs, and we get that boiling. Cute, tiny cucumbers. I'm going to try to chop these vegetables in different methods to hopefully get varying textures. I'm going for tiny little cubes when I chop up this cucumber. I realize I'm out of focus. Sorry about that. Stack them up and just go to town. Next up, 2 bell peppers. Bright orange just for a little color contrast, and I remove the ribs. Not necessary, but just something I want to do. I decided to go for a fine, thin slice here. I think it's julienne, and here we are. I found it took about 1.5 peppers instead of 2 giant ones. 2 pretty good looking tomatoes for winter time. Cut them down the center and remove the stem. And I'm not certain how to go about cutting these, so I just kind of go for traditional thick slices, kind of like an orange. I don't want to go too small because they'll kind of start crumbling apart. Either half a red onion or 2 shallots, take off the skin, and I go for, again, thin slices here. They're just going to kind of garnish on top of the salad. Now this recipe calls for mushrooms. Raw, I am not crazy about. The texture is very strange. It's rubbery, it's chewy, so I decided to blanch them, and I apologize, I didn't record it, but I just hit them in boiling water for about 3 to 4 minutes and ice bath them. Next, some beautiful herbs, dill and parsley. The parsley is going to be a garnish on top. Just give that a fine, thin slice, and the dill, I get that into a mince because that's going to go in a dressing. The dressing just calls for olive oil and vinegar. I decided to juice it up a little bit with some dill because I love dill. Red wine vinegar and extra virgin olive oil. I don't measure here. I just go heavy with extra virgin olive oil and the red vinegar. Add the pepper. I then express some minor frustration with the pepper mill. This pepper mill sucks ass. This pepper mill sucks. Add some salt and whisk it up with the dill, and it tasted okay. I added a little more olive oil because it just needed it, a little too sharp with the vinegar, and I put that aside. Let's try the blanched mushrooms. As you can see, I think it's got a better texture already. I give it a try, and it's good. It's not super rubbery, but it's still got a bite to it. Next, some ham, cubed up in the traditional sense for the salad. I don't get too fancy, just set it aside. The mushrooms have cooled. I don't chop them up super large. I just figure they're gonna be the base for the salad. So I keep them decent size, and we peel the hard-boiled eggs, slice them right down the middle. The mushrooms will be the base, and I get half of the tomatoes, put them on top, layer the cubed little cute cucumber, heap of the thinly sliced peppers on top of the cucumbers, dance around with the red onions. I realized I cut way more than I needed. Ham cubes are next, and then for presentation, the tomatoes and the eggs arranged all nicely. Kicker here calls for a Bulgarian cheese that's similar to feta, so I just got feta and I shredded that on top with the parsley. I figure some nice hearty toast will go with this countryman's Bulgarian salad. Hit it with the dressing, even though I'm going to hate that as it gets soggy the next day. Quite heavy. This is a meal and a half. It is a lot of vegetables. There's a lot happening, but it comes together and emulsifies and is one good delicious bite. Very hard to explain, but I would definitely make this again. If you're interested, I have more meal preps over here and also my Bourdain series where I learn how to cook French with Anthony Bourdain's cookbook. See ya freaking soon.